Hey, it's Matthew. Let's talk about bad business advice. You know, this cliche advice, you hear it all the time and often conflicts. And I've run into some people who, are kind of struggled by getting all this conflicting advice and what they should do in their business. So, you've probably heard some of these like focus, right? You have to be laser focused on your business. You got to say no to a bunch of stuff. But on the other side, you hear people say, well, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to be innovative, which means changing all the time, and you have to diversify, and you got to be ready to pivot when things aren't working out. Or you hear, oh, you can't micromanage. You got to learn how to delegate, but at the same time, you got to make sure everybody's working efficiently, and you have to have great customer service all the time. Nothing can fall through the cracks, even though you shouldn't be micromanaging in any way. I hear people saying, oh, you got to take more time off. If you want business to grow, you have to take time off. You have to take more vacations. But, on the other side, well, you have to work hard to win more business. There's no slacking, and you got to make your payroll. You got to work hard to do this. And, I'm willing to bet that there are some people out there who have probably taken too many vacations and end up, going under, the business not working out. I guarantee you they're not on social media telling you their story about how taking too many vacations tanked their business or not paying enough attention to their business. You also hear about, this common one, the customer is always right. Well, certainly when it comes to spending money, the customer is always right. But, if you think back in the Henry Ford days, if Henry Ford asked his customers what they wanted, they mostly would have said a faster horse, right? These decisions are never easy. There's always conflicting information. You're not always clear to what to do. I remember once pitching an investor to invest in the business that I was starting, and the investor was interested and said, yeah, you know what, I'm willing to invest in that business, but you got to stop everything else you're doing. I want you to only focus on that one business. And, that was easy for him to ask and easy for him to say, but, you're kind of telling me to stop doing all the things that are actually paying the bills. And paying for the salaries of all my team and everything. You want me to stop doing that and only do this one thing. Again, that was easy for him to ask for because even it actually wasn't even his money that he was looking after and investing. So as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to make these decisions and get this conflicting advice. And a lot of times this advice comes from actual successful people, experienced business people. So it makes you wonder, well, if they're successful and experienced, then maybe I should be doing what they say. But one of the things I've learned over the years is a lot of times successful people, found success in a certain way, and they can't see outside of that way. Well, I was successful doing this, so therefore you should be successful doing this as well. And the real world doesn't work that way. There's always too much nuance and too many other variables going on. And you've heard this term that those who can do and those who can't teach. Well, I think there's a missing second part of that, which is those who can do often cannot teach. Because again, the idea of, they found success in one way and often they cannot see outside of that method. So really at the end of the day, it's important for you to get advice and collect that advice, but you have to consider that it may not apply to you, right? Get the conflicting advice from different places, and then you have to consider, how does that apply to me today, in the moment of today? Because timing matters too. That's a big component of success. How does that matter and affect my decision making today and where I want to be and what will make me happy? Because business is not like math or physics. There are no preset formulas where well, if I set all the variables exactly like this, it's going to work. It's going to be there's too many things beyond your control, and business is not a math or physics formula. And so as an entrepreneur, as a decision maker, you have to take in all this information, often conflicting. And in fact, that's, ultimately that's a big definition of a leader, is being able to look at conflicting information and make a decision, based on that and the challenges that come with that. So my message to you is, don't take all this advice straight up. Consider it all and consider how it applies to you and your life and your business, and then try to make the best decision as possible. And when you make your decision, try not to look back, because no one knows what the results. You could have said, well, I wish I would have done this instead, and that may be true. but you don't really know what could have happened. Anything could have happened. You could have been hit by a truck if you made that decision, right? So there's no way to really know. Just gather as much information as you can. Try to make an informed decision. Use your intuition and gut as part of that decision process. And good luck. I'm Matthew Giorgio. Hope you found this helpful.